On-Tap Plumbing and Gas covers all Perth areas from Mandurah to Two Rocks and has a team of plumbing, drainage and hot water experts. They have an amazing reputation for their excellent service and quality workmanship on time, every time, and it is easy to see why they are a favourite to many Perth property managers. Whether you just need some friendly advice or an obligation-free quote, look no further than On-Tap Plumbing and Gas.
Welcome to the PM Collective, a dynamic hub designed to empower business owners, property managers, and BDMs to excel in their careers. Through access to intimate conversations, cutting-edge video training, mental health support, and unparalleled motivation, our community is the ultimate destination for individuals seeking to elevate their professional lives to new heights. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our next conversation on our weekly podcast, The Art of Property Management.
So the big announcement today is my special guest who I am super excited to speak to. I have followed this lady on social media for a long time, a number of years now, and I want to showcase a lot of similarities between our businesses. And some of you that are listening are going to be like, what the hell, Ash, are you thinking? Like, how the hell are the similarities? And stay with me because there are so many, and I know by the end of it, you are going to love it and you're going to take this into your own business, into your own personal branding, and really see the similarities. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Lucy. Lucy Banks is a would you call it an OnlyFans person?
OnlyFans creator, I guess I'd go with most of the time, yeah.
Create excellence. So Lucy, it's such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for jumping on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been so excited to have this conversation with you.
Now, let's just start off by you telling everyone a little bit about you, what you do now, maybe what you do before, whatever you want to share, just so we can get a feel for the conversation.
Sure. So I actually come from a corporate banking background. I started in banking when I was 17, probably way too young to be working in a bank. I did that for 10 years, got married, had a couple of kids, I guess a pretty normal life by most people's standards. In 2019, I just decided I'd had enough. I was in a marriage that I resented. I just couldn't keep living another day the way that I did. So I left my husband, left my job, moved out with my two beautiful kids on my own and started this thing called OnlyFans. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be around for my kids. I didn't want to put them in after school care. Their parents had separated and I wanted to spend time with them. I thought I'll do this OnlyFans thing for a couple of months, clear some bills, get, some money in the bank, and then I'll go and get, a real job. But it's been almost 4 years now, and I've done OnlyFans full-time for maybe 3 of those years. I've gone from being, when I left my husband, I just packed backpacks for the kids and I think I had $60 to my name. I've bought 4 properties in the last 18 months. My kids are in private schools. We're all happy. We're all thriving. And it's been like a huge, within the space of, just under 4 years, like just the biggest transformation.
It's amazing. And I think that, and I'm going to keep on bringing this back to real estate for everyone just to understand that when a lot of people are starting in real estate, whether it's as a BDM or as a sales rep, you too are quite often starting from scratch. You're starting sometimes with only $60 in your bank account, and you need to work out how to make money in a industry that you may or may not have worked from. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today is how to do it and how to be a top performer in your field, which is exactly what Lucy is. So I don't really understand it much, but I think they say that you're in the 1%er.
Yeah, so out of all the creators, there's a percentage system. So I'm currently in the top 0.5% of all creators. Basically, anyone within the top 2%, they're doing it full time.
Yeah, and when you say full time, you mean Monday to Friday, like not 9 to 5, but like 40-hour weeks? Or
no. So when I say full time, I mean that I can survive off this money. I don't have to have a day job. I don't have to, have anything else. I'm making the same amount of money that I would if I wasn't a full time job. So that's what I mean when I say full time. So I think, again, tying that back to real estate, there's a huge bounty of people on a huge scale. People who have been in the industry for 6 months and they're killing it, people who've been in the industry for years and they might not be, and everybody sort of in between. And OnlyFans is very, very similar to that. I say it all the time. You get into it what you put out of it. If you're going to, do a let it drop and just see what happens after that, you're not going to be making the top money. You need to be hustling day in, day out. You need to be thinking of things that other people aren't doing. You need to watch what other people are doing and see how that works for them. It's not about the product. So for me, it's not about the videos I make or the content I put out there. And similar to real estate, it's not about the houses you're selling or renting. It's about you as a personal brand and how far you push yourself and how effectively you're able to market and hustle.
100%, yeah. And I think that that's what it is about today, is how to become that 1%er. And I think as well, like all businesses follow the same core basics when it comes to marketing and branding. So let's just get into my first question and my first maybe statement we'll talk about. So what I find interesting is that OnlyFans, I haven't personally, and I don't think they do, they don't seem to advertise as a company or as a business. Like, you don't see them advertising. You only see the creators underneath them advertising. Is that right, or have I just missed their marketing?
OnlyFans as a platform doesn't promote the creators. You have a login page, and then you can see who you've subscribed to, and that's it. It's not like social media where you can click onto the next girl, or it'll come up suggested friends, or, there's groups where you can connect to people. The interface is literally just a log on screen, and then you only have access to who you've subscribed to. But the only reason you're going to know who to subscribe to is because you've seen them from social media or media articles. OnlyFans, even on their own social media, won't promote adult creators. So every single subscriber that every single creator has, they've had to obtain from their own resources, essentially.
Yeah, okay. So that is something that I want people to remember, that when they work for a franchise or even an independent company, that don't rely on that corporate branding. That's the relevance of you being as a human. Marketing yourself is so important, and not relying on the hierarchy or the actual company. So that's definitely my first tip for people to keep in mind. Now, being vulnerable and real and showing the real you. And so your content, you have definitely some professional images. You have some raw stuff that you do. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do professional footage as well as raw. I actually get more interaction from the raw footage. How do you find your content?
Yes, absolutely. So I could put up photos that I've spent, thousands of dollars on a photo shoot. They won't get as much interaction as a selfie I've taken in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Which is so funny, but I think across all aspects of life, people do like to see that raw vulnerability, because it makes you feel more connected with people. I know that, when I've met professionals, accountants, lawyers, whatever, as soon as they drop an F-bomb or they're like, do you want a glass of wine? I'm like, yeah, I do. And it just makes me feel so much more connected with them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this person, because they've shown a little bit of that raw side, and that makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's a quote that that I'll read, and it's from a lady called Chelsea Pites, I think her name is. She's in America. She's a content creator, and she says, "The real estate human whose videos can make a stranger feel like they already know them is who wins in 2023." And I plaster that everywhere because it's so true. Even like with me and you, I feel like I know you and that I've spoken to you before when I haven't, and I've only just followed. Yeah.
but it makes you feel connected with people. And I feel like people who have, in both of our industries, who have that polished look, that, everything's so professional, like in my industry, like girls, with the perfect bodies and who have all the professional images, they're dime a dozen. And it's the same with real estate agents, people who are like so professional and don't put a foot out of line, like they're a dime a dozen.
The videos that I see where agents get them professionally done every month and they script them and it's like a market update, I just find myself passing through them. Like I find them boring, and it's like an expectation. I know what's going to be on it. But yeah, the ones where you don't know what you're going to get because it's raw, are definitely the ones that I personally watch, and I assume your clients will as well.
Yes, yeah.
I was in at the shops yesterday actually, and the person that I saw will probably be listening to this because I said to him, "Jump onto my podcast and have a listen." And this guy walked up to me, and for those that know Perth, I was at the Warwick shops, which is quite a bit of a distance away from my South Perth office, and I was in there, and he just comes up to me and goes, "What is a South Perth property manager doing at Warwick Coles?" And I just turned to him and said, "I'm sorry,
oh my gosh,
I don't know who you are." And he said, "I follow you on LinkedIn." And and it was a very exciting. So Howard, if you were watching it, you made my day yesterday. But and I felt like a little mini celebrity.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
And it just goes to show, I think that's because of the raw, because he sees me in a raw light on social media. You don't, you just feel like you know them anyway. And it's good to know that your stuff as well, that the professional stuff, while it's good to have, don't make it your whole content or social media presence.
Yes, absolutely. People like to have, they're a dime a dozen, all of those. Like, I feel like a lot of the real estate agents, like in the pocket where I am, like they all look the same. They went through a stage about 6 months ago. Someone put a dog on their signs, and all of a sudden there was like 5 different agents in the area that all had their dogs on their signs. And the first one, I was like, "Oh wow, that's really cool." Like, I noticed it, and then everybody else started doing it. Yeah. So doing things to stand out. While that did get my interest initially, and I remember that lady's name because she did it first, but everyone else who copied it afterwards, I don't know who their names are because they just copied somebody else. It's good to be interesting.
Do you ever have times where you might do something where, like, let's say you don't have makeup on, or you're and I've seen when you've been sick and you've also posted something, but do you ever have times of doubt of, "Oh, should I put this up or shouldn't I?"
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sensor Global saves lives with automatic compliance and manages smoke alarms, gas and water leak detection with 24/7 remote management. It provides complete control, reduced risks and improved compliance for property managers. To find out more, speak to Anthony Booth or head over to sensorglobal.com.
Yes. So a lot of the times where I do have those thoughts, it's when, I'm not in makeup, or I'm sick, or I'm not wearing something sexy. But then, I've got that other, it's like the angel and devil on my shoulder, the other side of me that's like, no, this is why, I do have the success that I've been able to get over the last few years, is because I get that feedback all the time. People are like, "I love how real you are. I love how natural you are." So while I'll put something up and I'm like, "Oh, I probably should have washed my hair," I know that there's people watching that being like, "Oh, like she hasn't washed her hair, but how cool," because sometimes I don't wash my hair. Like, I do have those doubts, but every single time I end up posting it works out well for me. I don't go back and delete things afterwards.
No, and I think that's the thing, that if you don't do that, and if you don't put those raw videos up, or those ones where you're a little bit, "Oh, should I or shouldn't I?" you're never going to know what the response is. And that response that you think you're going to get, you are just making assumptions, because I can guarantee you are not going to get the response you thought that you would from that. So, but you've got to try it and at least just see how it's reacted. And that would probably be something that I would hope that property managers, real estate agents, take from this is that, stop making assumptions about how people are going to perceive you, because no one actually really gives a shit, to be honest, whether you washed your hair or don't have makeup on.
Exactly. And the thing with social media is you never know what's going to take off as well. I filmed this TikTok in my car about 3 weeks ago. I was sitting in the car park waiting for my son to get out of school. So I was in, this normal people clothes, put a filter on so I wasn't wearing any makeup, did a 7-second TikTok. And I was like, what am I going to caption this? And I just put up, guess why I'm the favourite mum at school or something. I just thought of it in 2 seconds, posted it, didn't think anything of it. And it ended up getting, I think it was like 1.6 million views. And I put zero thought into it. I just did not expect that to take off. And then I had another one last week that someone was being mean to me, and I replied to their comment with a video, which usually I don't do, but I just had so much hate that week. I was like, I'll say something back, see if it kind of settles everyone down a bit. And that got 2.6 million views of me sort of biting back at someone. And one take, and I just never thought, all the ones that I think are going to do really well, they don't. And then these random ones that I almost don't post, not because I'm uncomfortable with the content, just because I'm like, that was so lazy. Like I shouldn't post it because I put no effort into it. And then they go viral.
Yeah, I had one of those on TikTok, and that was, again, it was a stupid TikTok. It was not anything. And it was just, I was at a property and my trainee goes to me, oh, Ash, did you know that you can do this with the security door? And I was like, oh, well, let's just videotape it. That's cool. And that one got like 2 million views. I was like, what the hell? Like, that is just so random and stupid. Like, I've got better videos on my stuff than that one.
Yeah.
Well, what's that?
All these ones that you put all the thought into, they don't go anywhere, then just random ones like that do take off. So I think that's really important for people to know, if they're not familiar with social media or they're still trying to find their feet, is post everything, because you really don't know what's going to take off. None of us do. Everyone who thinks they're a social media expert, when it comes to something like TikTok, you can't predict it.
No. So property managers, real estate agents, try everything, put it all out there, and then start fine tuning. Okay, what's working, what's not, and then maybe try and find your niche that way. Now let's go into that segue about hate. We've both had it. I've had it as a real estate agent. I mentioned to you just before that on TikTok specifically, I get called a parasite and, taking advantage of the rental market. And it's hard because my children see it. My children are like, Mum, why are people so mean to you? I'm okay with hate. I personally deal with it okay. I actually don't even read a lot of the comments, but I also take it as an opportunity to educate people as well. So I use it to my advantage, and I actually have good content traction when I get it. So I just think, you know what, you guys are idiots, because you're actually making you're increasing my profile by, arguing on my page or being like that. So I actually don't really care. But you, I know, do get hate as well. So, and I know you've had some recently. So how do you deal with that? Because I think you have used it to your advantage quite well.
Yeah. So as you said, the more, whether it's, positive or negative comments, the more engagement that your content can get, the more that platform favors the content. So it's going to boost your algorithm. One of the ones I had recently that went viral was about 3,000 comments of people saying I look like a man, that, I probably am one of the school dads. They're calling me, just all these horrible things. And I just kind of said to myself, I'm like, well, I'm not a man. Or people are like, you're disgusting, you have no self-respect. And I'm like, well, I do. Like, I don't even know these people, and they don't even know me. A lot of the time I'll play into it. Like I put a TikTok up recently saying, it was full of spelling mistakes on purpose, just saying people think I'm dumb, but I actually have $400 in the bank and a 6-pack in the fridge. So I'm winning in life or something. And everyone was commenting, being like, oh my gosh, you think she's rich because she has $400. And again, like it just took off. And then, sometimes I put spelling mistakes and things on purpose, and they'll be like, oh, you're so dumb. No wonder you do OnlyFans. And it's really interesting because a lot of people, they'll click on, they'll be like, oh, hang on a second. She's taking us all for a ride. She's actually smarter than we think she is. And then the people will be like, no, she's not. And they'll fight back. So it's really interesting watching it all unfold, as I'm sure you've experienced. But at the end of the day, and like when people call you a parasite, I'm sure you can say, well, no, I'm not. Like, no one in my immediate circle thinks that. Like, why are we putting any value on strangers on TikTok? And I'm really big on the saying, hurt people hurt people. I've never seen someone who's happy and successful spend time trolling on TikTok. So this place, the negativity and the hate, it all comes from a place of sadness, really. So there's no value in it. It's not real when people are saying things like that.
No, and it should never stop you from posting either. Like, that's what I don't want people to do. Don't stop because of it.
Yeah, it's really important to take care of your mental health. Like, I know if I've got on TikTok, I'll open the notifications, I'll look away, and I'll close it. I do not read the comments. It's only if I need to reply to a video and I'm like, it's very rare that I look at the comments because I know it's going to put me in a bad mindset. I know it's going to, those doubts, because I do, those doubts do creep in when you start reading the comments.
It comes down to educating. So, like, I know when you've had a media release and, maybe they've made up something that you haven't said, then it's just about getting online to say, listen, I didn't say that, or making a comment about it. So, number one, educating. And the other thing that I was going to say as well, there's actually also some really clever ways that you can not get back to people, but respond like you did with your funny TikTok with the spelling mistakes. One of my favorites that I've seen is when there was a coffee shop owner who put a big sign out the front of his cafe and said, "Come try the worst coffee someone on Google has ever tasted in their whole life." And I thought, yes, that's so good. Like, of course, that's like
so clever. Yeah, there's another creator in my industry who used to get a lot of hate on TikTok as well. People just calling her ugly, rah, 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 and she would reply in really, really funny ways, and she went viral. And now she's a single mum like I am as well. She drives a BMW. She bought a house in cash, and her whole business was from replying from hate comments from TikTok. So how funny when these people are trying to bring her down, she'll respond and be like, I can't remember what she said. She's like, "I can't believe you're calling me ugly. My grandpa subscribed to my OnlyFans and he says I'm pretty," or something like that. And she's just so funny. And she's made an empire out of it. She's a multi-millionaire now. Yeah. So it's very cool to see. There's some really clever marketing things you can do with hate and troll comments. And I find it very interesting to see what people do with it. It's very cool. Absolutely.
So do not let your opinion or what you don't let what you think other people are going to say about your opinion stop you from having one. So real estate agents, I always say that people engage you and pay you well because you have an opinion quite often. And I know, like me as a property manager, I get paid to have an opinion where someone else, might be doing the job for free. I get paid for it because that's what people are wanting. So it's really important. And don't worry about what everyone says. And even like with the Perth market, like I've got an opinion of how long it's going to continue lasting for. Someone else might have something different. All it is an opinion. It's nothing more. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm just saying it's an opinion, and we're all allowed to have them. So don't shy away from having them online. Thinking outside, my last question for you is that thinking outside the square. So a little bit you referred to the agent with the dog on the photo, and then everyone sort of, follows and does it. And I'm pretty good at thinking outside the square. I think I am anyway. I try my best. And sometimes people follow you and it just keeps on pushing you to the next thing. You think outside the square, and you might have other ways that you're doing it, but the one that I've seen as sort of a consumer is your merchandise. And so I think you created car fresheners.
Yes. Yeah.
And what else?
I've got car air fresheners, bottle openers, jumpers, T-shirts, hats, beanies. So yeah, a few different things. And initially, I started it because I tried to get a billboard. And I know there's been another OnlyFans girl who did manage to make it happen, but I tried to make it happen months before her, and I was told, no, you will never be able to be on a billboard. Maybe if you had a clothing label or something, we would approve it. And I was like, well, you're fine. I was like, I'm going to start a clothing label. So that's how it kind of all started. And then I was able to take that merchandise to that Sexpo when I went over East. And people do buy it, not necessarily, I don't know, maybe not necessarily because they like the designs or anything, but they know what I stand for and what the merchandise kind of stands for then as well. So it's been really, really good. So that's, I guess, sort of been an offshoot of me being an OnlyFans creator. I've also just started doing affiliate marketing as well. So there's like an OnlyFans course that I've been involved with. So then I sort of promote that to new creators and say, look, everything I've learned is through this course. And then they go sign up for the course and I get a kickback from that as well. So that's like another, I guess, income stream that I've done from OnlyFans. I also have information like reference documents that I've made and I sell on Etsy, like 50 captions for OnlyFans about your booty or something like that. So even though OnlyFans is like my core business, I have, about 3 or 4 different like offshoots that run off that, that bring me like a decent amount of income as well. Like all of those, I could really build to a point where I didn't have to do OnlyFans anymore. But that's what got me to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I the same for me, like, and people might think, okay, property manager, how can you have other income streams from being a property manager? And for me, there is definitely the affiliate marketing, which is something I'm able to do with my network. I have got the 7-day, I'm about to launch the 7-day investor course for people wanting to buy and invest in properties from around Australia. So I'm doing that with another property manager over in Queensland. So that'll be another one. And then obviously I've got my PM Collective and bits and pieces. So there's ways to do it. But I would say that the reason why I've been able to do it as a property manager is because of my online presence and my network. So if you want to, like, and I think people always have to think of the future. You've always got to think, one step ahead. So as a property manager, then, if you want to just do your job, like same as you, if you just wanted to do your job and that's it, and one day you'll stop or one day you'll keep on going, that's fine. But I think always thinking about, well, what if I don't work as a property manager? What are my other options? Or and it all comes down to I believe your network. So the stronger I can keep my network, the more demand and options I will have available to me personally to be able to create and think outside the square. So, and I mean, your stuff, you couldn't do your affiliates marketing and all your bits and pieces if you didn't have that core network online.
Exactly. I think, and I guess this goes for any industry, like once you become sort of like an industry leader and you've got that that reputation and the pull in an industry, your options for your other income sources are limitless. Like affiliate marketing, brilliant, love it. I think that's really going to be the way of the future. Things like merchandise or like your podcast, like there's so many different options that you have, and it all comes down to your personal brand and your networking. If that's strong and you're a leader in the industry you're in, you can really do anything with it.
Yeah. And then as a result, you're going to get more clients. I'm going to get more clients. And I would suggest that for those that are listening, if you can take away from this session, I'm just looking at my notes, sorry, again. If you can take away from this podcast listen, the importance of that vulnerable brand that you're creating, and just stop being so precious about what you look like and what other people are going to think about you, because it's actually not really even about you. Like seriously, people just, I can't stress it enough, people don't give a shit about the things that you think they do.
I think it sounds a bit lame, but being yourself and having your personality is your superpower, because it's what connects you to other humans. All humans crave connection, and this polished version that other people put up, it alienates people, because people do want that connection. So having your vulnerable side and that rawness and that your genuine personality is something that should be leaned into on social media, not shied away from.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an absolute pleasure. I was so happy to have you on board for this podcast. So I do really, really appreciate your time. And I really do hope that those people that have listened can take this away with them. I think it's, despite what real estate agents want to think, there is such a close resemblance with OnlyFans and real estate agents.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I've had such a good time.
I appreciate it. Now, what is for those that do want to go check out Lucy's Instagram page, what's the Instagram page that people should go to?
Yes, so you can check me out at I'm Lucy Banks, which is more of my sexy work kind of stuff, or my personal side, which is Life with Lucy Banks, which is a bit more about, the business side and real life kind of things as well. So I'm happy to have a chat with anybody who wants to know more information or anything like that.
Yeah, so go over and actually just see what I'm talking about when we've talked about these topics. You'll see exactly what I mean, and you'll see why I really do enjoy following you with that, the business mindset. So thank you again. I appreciate being on, and anyone that wants to reach out to Lucy, you are welcome. I'll have her tags in the podcast notes as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Associates Co. provide reliable, fully trained professionals to assist you with running and scaling your property management department, providing high-quality, pre-trained virtual assistants ready to hit the ground running and revolutionise the way you run your portfolio, ensuring your time is spent doing the high-value tasks inside your rent roll that really matter. Not long ago, VAs within a business were considered a luxury. Now they are a staple for any business needing reliable support without the headache of traditional staffing. To find out more, head over to theassociatesco.com.